What if I told you there's a simple, repeatable plan that regular people are using to retire like decades early? And no, we're not talking about a lottery ticket or some crypto moonshot. We're talking about just $1,000 a month and a bit of simple math that honestly most of us were never taught. We're going to break down the exact roadmap step by step.
You know the drill, right? It's been the standard script for generations. Go to school, get the job, climb that corporate ladder, and just hope you have enough to retire somewhere in your mid-60s. It's the path we're all sort of expected to follow. But what if that script is totally outdated? What if there's another way to do things?
Well, guess what? There is. A quiet but really powerful movement has been taking hold, and we're talking about everyday people. Teachers, engineers, nurses, folks with normal jobs who are figuring out how to achieve financial freedom and walk away from the 9-to-5 grind in their 40s or sometimes even in their 30s. This whole movement, this different path, it's called FIRE, and that stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. Now, the core idea is surprisingly simple. It's not really about how much money you make, it's all about the size of the gap between what you make and what you spend. That gap, when you invest it, that becomes your ticket to freedom.
So you might be wondering, okay, how does this actually work? I get it. It can sound a little like a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's absolutely not. It's all based on some very straightforward, very powerful financial math that's been around for decades. Let's break down the two key concepts that make this whole thing possible.
First up, you need what's called your FIRE number. Think of this as your personal finish line. It's the amount of invested money you need to never have to work for money ever again. And the calculation is super simple. Just figure out how much you spend in a year and then multiply that number by 25. That's it. That's your target.
So let's make this tangible. Let's say your household lives pretty comfortably on about $40,000 a year. Okay, you take that number, you multiply it by 25, and your FIRE number is $1 million. Now I know that might sound like a huge, intimidating number, but stick with me here.
This brings us to the second piece of the puzzle, the 4% rule. This is a really well-studied guideline from the finance world, and it basically says you can safely pull out 4% of your total investments each year, and the money should pretty much last forever. Why? Because your portfolio is expected to grow faster than that on average, so it just keeps replenishing itself. So what's 4% of that $1 million FIRE number? It's $40,000 a year, exactly what you need to live on. Your money is now paying you a salary, forever.
Okay, so $1 million is the goal. But how in the world do you get there on a regular income? Well, this is where our $1,000 a month engine comes into play, and it's powered by the single most powerful force in all of finance, compound interest.
And this is where the magic really happens. The growth isn't a straight line, it's an explosion over time. If you invest $1,000 every single month and get a 10% average return, which is right around the historical stock market average, just look at this curve. After 10 years, you're at about $205,000. Pretty good. But in the next 10 years, you don't just add another 200 grand. Your money nearly quadruples to $765,000. And just 5 years after that, you've blown past your $1 million goal and you're sitting on $1.3 million. That's compounding. It's incredible.
And this right here perfectly illustrates the endgame. Let's just apply that 4% rule to your new nest egg of $1.3 million. Well, that generates $52,000 a year in passive income. That's more than the original $40,000 we were even aiming for. And that's financial independence, achieved in 25 years just by being consistent.
All right, so we've covered the why and the what. But honestly, theory is useless without a real plan. So let's shift gears into the how. Here is a concrete 5-step playbook you can literally start using today to build your own freedom engine.
First things first, it's really important to know that FIRE isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. There are different flavors. You've got lean FIRE, which is for the minimalists. They get there faster on a smaller budget. Then you've got fat FIRE, for people who want a more lavish retirement, which obviously takes a bit longer. Most people land right in the middle, with regular FIRE, a comfortable life, targeting somewhere around 1.25 to 1.75 million. The key is to figure out which one of these actually fits your life.
Okay, here it is, your starter kit. Step 1, know your number. Just like we did earlier, it's your annual expenses times 25. Step 2, track your savings rate. Super simple. What percentage of your income are you actually saving each month? Step 3, forget about cutting out lattes and focus on the big 3 expenses that really move the needle: housing, transportation, and food. A small win there is worth hundreds of coffees. Step 4,
Max out your tax-advantaged accounts first, things like a 401k or a Roth IRA. They give you huge tax breaks, which is basically like getting free money from the government to invest. And finally, step 5, automate everything. Set up automatic transfers into simple, low-cost index funds and just let the system run on its own. Set it and forget it.
Okay, I want you to pay close attention here, because this is probably the most important chart in this entire breakdown. It's not your income that determines when you retire, it is your savings rate. If you're saving a standard 10%, well, that gets you the standard 40-year career. But look what happens when you crank that number up. At a 30% savings rate, you slash that timeline down to 25 years. And if you get aggressive at 50%, you could be financially free in just 17 years. It's a direct trade-off. Save more now, and you literally buy back years of your own life.
Now, the strategy is simple, but as we all know, life gets in the way. Execution is everything. And there are a few really common traps that can completely derail an otherwise perfect FIRE plan. So let's talk about the big ones so you can sidestep them. The first, and honestly, the biggest trap is lifestyle inflation. You know what I'm talking about. You get a raise, and instead of investing that extra money, your spending just rises to meet it. A nicer car, a bigger apartment. It's the silent killer of early retirement dreams. The second mistake is trying to time the market, waiting for the perfect time to invest. That moment never comes, and you just lose out on valuable time for your money to grow. And third, and this is a big one, is ignoring healthcare costs. You absolutely have to have a plan for health insurance if you're going to retire before Medicare kicks in.
I really want to pause on this quote because it is the golden rule of investing. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can consistently predict what the market will do next. The people who win are the ones who invest consistently, every single month, through the good times and the bad. Your greatest asset is time, so you have to put it to work.
So as we start to wrap this up, I want to reframe the entire goal here, because I think the biggest misconception about FIRE is that it's just for people who hate their jobs and want to go sit on a beach all day. And for most people, that's not it at all. See, the real prize here isn't retirement. It's choice. It's the ability to wake up on a Monday morning and decide what you want to do with your day, not what you have to do. It's the freedom to maybe keep working a job you love, but on your own terms, or to start that business you've been dreaming about, or travel, or just spend more time with your family, all without that constant financial pressure.
And that's really the ultimate question, isn't it? If money were no longer an issue, what would you do with your time? That answer, that is what this is all about. It's not about escaping your life, it's about having the freedom to finally, fully live it. So what choice would you make?